Hello, thank you for joining me. In this film I'd like to show you how to do some sweep features. One of them's going to be the swept boss base and the other one's going to be the swept cut. First thing we're going to do is do the swept cut first. And the desire here, after we put some fillets on the table, is to identify our table or countertop with a cut that we're going to put a rail on in order to embellish our design a little bit, so to speak. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's put some fillets in the front. So let's go to features and go to fillet. We're going to identify each one of these edges here in the front in order to kind of give a visual representation of what is the front and back of the table. Green check mark. One thing to keep in mind about sweep features, and we're going to use the same sketch elements for both of these, but with any sweep feature you're going to need a path and a profile. And so what it does is the profile follows the path in order to either add material or take material away in regard to how the profile looks. So let's do this. Let's click on the tabletop to identify our surface we're going to be drawing on, and let's do the path. We go to Sketch, and go to Convert Entities. What it's going to do is it's going to borrow the geometry of the existing table and put it on that sketch plane that we're trying to draw on. And go to the green check mark, and go to the Trim Entities. What we want to do is take out this portion of the path. So now we have a path which kind of starts here, goes around the table and ends over here, or could start over here and go around the table and end up over here. So either way would work. Go to the green check mark, go to Rebuild, and we're going to call this Path. Okay, there's our path. Profile. Let's click on this plane, draw a circle on that plane right at that intersection here, or we could just draw it out here. This is more typical of a profile. When you put a profile together, you put the circle out here, and it kind of shows you a new sketch relation you can use. The path that's existing out here on that plane actually intersects that plane in two different spots. So if you click in the middle of that circle and click on that path, we'd have to select the chain in order for it to do it, but we can do pierce. What it does is it takes the most convenient and close point where that line intersects that plane, and they'll put our new sketch element in the middle of that. So there's our sketch 8. We're going to go ahead and rebuild that, and this time we're going to call that profile. Okay, we have our path, we have our profile, we're ready to do a swept cut. Go to features. Remember, they have to be independent sketches, by the way, and if they're not independent sketches, if you're in the middle of the sketch, it's not going to let you do a sweep feature because you have to have two independent sketches. Swept cut, path. You can identify that in the feature manager tree if you wanted to. It's easy to do that there. Oh, that's not our path. Our path is going to be this line here. It's going to be that. Up. Okay, it's looking for the profile first, so let's go ahead and do that. If you rush the cursor over that, it tells you what it's looking for. So profile first, path, it automatically jumps to that, and there we have it. We could also identify it over here because the sketches are visible. We can also identify it over there. So green check mark, it makes our cut over there, kind of like a router cut. Now it's pretty cool. So now we're going to do the same thing with our sweep boss base, or swept boss base. Click on that, profile and path. We don't have our sketches show anymore, but let's go ahead and turn those on so we can see them. Let's make those independent too. So let's take our profile, show that, path, let's show that. So those are available for us. Go to swept boss base, path, going to be that. I'm sorry, profile is going to be that. Our path is going to be this line, and now you can see it follows along. One more option we want to do here. Go to options. Let's not merge the results so we have two separate bodies. This way we can apply different materials, not necessarily materials, but appearances of those two separate bodies. Go to the green check mark, and now we have our tabletop as one body, and our sweeps as the second body. You can see that up in your bodies folder. Instead of sweep 3, we're going to call this our rail. And with that rail, we're going to assign some different properties to it. So let's go ahead and open up our appearances. If you go over here to these arrows up here, you can either open or close. These are called our show display plane. This is our display plane in here. The tabletop, it's going to assume the top element in our hierarchy here, which is going to be the oak table, but we're going to override that with the rail over here by clicking on that. Go to appearances, And what I want to do is pick a brass color under our metals folder, double click on that, and then green check mark, and now I have a brass rail around that. So I'm going to take my path and profile, I'm going to hide those, and there's our countertop with our rail. Kind of fun. Okay, in the next film I'm going to show you something a little bit more elaborate with a swept cut, and we'll go from there.